very specific blast pattern because these zombies are currently trying to eat the other kobolds.
Feeling lucky.
Okay, so just maybe a dex throw.
That is a 16 plus 4. 21.
Unbelievable. Okay, roll me a d10, please.
I will easily do that right now.
Simply roll that.
It's a 10.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. That is a 10.
Great. What's the damage on your bomb, Eggpert? I can't remember.
It is... all creatures within a 5-foot radius must make a DC 12 dex check or take 3d6 fire damage.
Okay, 3d. Oh, that's right. It's saving throws. Was it dex? He said.
Yeah, DC 12 check.
DC. Okay, good luck, zombie kobolds. Yeah, that ain't do it. Okay, all creatures within a 5-foot radius.
5 foot, yes.
How many kobolds can you get in a 5-foot radius?
Depends if you stack
Well,
them
they're
on
very
top of
dense.
each other or
Yeah,
not.
they're dense creatures.
You blend them
They're in a
together.
They are. They've got a wisdom modifier of -2. All right, let's say you can get 7 of them. Roll me 3d6 fire damage, please, Corazon.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, explosions are cool, Corazon.
That's a 3. That's a 5. And that's a 2.
So that's 10.
10. Yeah.
Okay, the zombie kobolds, like lots of bits fly off them. And they're all really quite profoundly on fire now. You hear kind of like a sighing, like as they take the damage, but as zombies tend to be quite resilient, they keep coming.
All right, I use my bonus action to hide.
Okay, cool. Great. In that case, Prudence, it's your go.
All right, okay, I'm casting around. I'm looking at this kind of undercover market. We're under a bridge, right, Johnny?
Yes.
Okay, I look to the edges of the bridge. Are there any hanging icicles or perhaps a big formation of snow that's just, hanging over an edge somewhere?
Absolutely, you're in a winter wonderland.
Amazing. Okay, well, in that case, I look to an overhang of ice and snow that might be above a collection of zombie kobolds, and I hit the bridge strut, let's say, nearest it, with an eldritch blast to try and dislodge some of the ice and snow.
Amazing. All right, make me a ranged spell attack.
Will.
Let's say the armor class on a bridge is... It's not going to be massive, is it?
It's not a great bridge, Johnny. It's a pretty terrible bridge, if we're honest.
Let's call it a 10.
Yeah! Okay, cool. All right, that's a 14.
14. Fantastic. Yeah, okay. So you're looking to just icicles, right?
Yeah, or like a big bank of snow, perhaps, that might be. I mean, you tell me, Johnny.
Let's roll
Whatever
the
you
die
got.
and find out.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 massive icicles dislodge from the bridge and start to hurtle their way down in a very spiky fashion toward these kobolds. What would the damage on an icicle be?
They're big and sharp. They're
They
pointy
are
as
big
heck.
and sharp.
So pointy.
Let's call it 2d8.
Yeah, my sharp, pointy boys. Do my bidding. I am the Ice Queen. I hope.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Are you rolling or am I?
Oh, sorry. I thought.
Sorry,
Oh, wait,
no, I can't.
wait. I thought you were rolling for that. I was really waiting for an icicle to do something there, but I'm rolling for them. Okay, sorry.
They
what
are
did you say?
2d8, please.
2d8. All right, let's do that. Sorry, that was so much suspense, and then I was like, oh, this
No,
is
it's fine.
me. I'm doing the icicles. All right. Well, one is a 2, that one, and then one is an 8. So
Okay.
it's a mixed bag there, John.
It's. I tell you what, it's not awful. Basically, 8 of the kobolds kind of from. It's not the group that are partly on fire.
Right.
It's the other one. 8 of them now just sort of have icicles sticking out of their heads, and they're really struggling to move. It turns out that's really quite limiting to your movement range when you're sort of pinned from your head most of the way down into your torso.
Ooh,
Kind of like. Some of them are stuck at really weird, odd, unnatural angles.
Ooh, I love it.
They aren't down, but they look ridiculous. They look like freeze pops.
Delicious zombie freeze pops.
Yeah.
Are these kobolds that aren't zombies helping at all, or are they just terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought?
They are. I mean, like, they've been living in fear for quite a long time. A bomb's just gone off, and they're being attacked by zombie kobolds. I'm going to say they're not being tremendously useful combatants at this point in time. I will roll them into the initiative order. And if they're all alive on the next turn, they can join in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
Snicket's got moves.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're all rooting for Snicket.
You better
Snicket better make it out of this alive.
I need those trousers.
Okay. Kobold time. Let's see. Let's start with the two that haven't been pinned. Okay. What's your armor class again, Prudence?
Oh, my armor class, Johnny, is 12, of course.
Okay. Let's see.
Why? Why is that relevant? Oh, zombies.
Yeah. So you get sort of a kobold zombie. Oh wow! Lunges at you. And it does 1d.
Probably.
It tries to scratch you. It does 1d6 minus 1 piercing damage. I rolled a 1, so it sort of gently caresses your cheek. Not your cheek.
That's worse
sort of,
somehow.
Sort of gives a caress to your arm. It is creepy, and it's like as it does it. It's horrible.
I'm freaked out. I'm fully freaked out, but undamaged.
Let's see. Now the freezy pop ones, they are. Ooh, they're and that's 1. Okay. So how many? There are 8 of them. 4 normal market kobolds fall down, sort of pinned under the weight of ice kobolds that have sort of grabbed them and up, and they're doing that classic "I'm a zombie lying on top of you and I'm going to start trying to munch through your shoulder" thing. It's not going. Yeah, they're not having. It's a bad day at the office for the kobolds. I'll say that much.
Our first ever kobold protection job is going terribly.
My trousers.
Well, you've got the trousers already.
Oh,
Nice.
have I? Okay.
Yeah. You
Why are
have
we
got,
bothering with this
Get out of
fight?
here.
you have got the trousers already. Yeah. Dob.
Could I just get a quick lay of the land summary? Would that be all right, Johnny?
Absolutely. So you've got the bridge. You are you're on the outskirts of it, sort of half in, half out. Because when Egbert ran up, people kind of came over to see what the fuss was. So with the bridge over the top, imagine just a big circle, half under the bridge, half not under the bridge.
Okay.
The half that is under the bridge, there are some very on fire kobolds. Half that is outside the bridge, there are some kobolds that have been skewered with icy pops. And you are kind of the gooey center of this little corral is tied normal kobolds and the Oxventurers. Prudence is sort of on the outskirts, tussling with just a weird handsy zombie.
Right.
And the rest of you are kind of dotted around. So, because, the circle isn't so big that it would ever exceed your movement speed. So I'm just going to say you can move freely within this circle, even if it means sort of nudging a few kobolds out of the way and being slightly rude to them. They'll forgive you if they live.
Okay. All right. Well, I was thinking. No, bring the bridge down is a bad idea. Yeah, I was thinking just bring like the mouth of it down, if that makes sense, like so that we're sort of trapped in, but they're on all the zombies are on.
You would end up crushing sort of the middle of the circle.
Okay, all right. Then I go to
Put that on the maybe pile.
then I put that on the maybe pile. What I would like to do then, I would like to run into the zombie kobolds with my, you guessed it, 50-foot hempen rope.
Okay.
and I would like to sort of try and lasso it round the waist of the first zombie I come to, then run in a broad circle through around the infected, and tie that off into. Basically, I want to try and I want to try, if I can, to secure all the zombies inside one rope lasso.
I hope you roll well, my friend.
Okay.
I just want to, my thinking is I just want to separate the zombies from the non-zombies.
Yeah, I'm totally with you.
Corral.
Yeah,
And then I think Merylwen can like Hammer of Dawn them or something.
Yeah,
Let's call this a Dex acrobatics check, shall we?
Yes, please. All right. I've got inspiration. Can I use inspiration now to?
You may, yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Well, now that's a 16, and that's a 5. So I'll take the 16 plus 5.
That's 21.
Plus 21. I think that's actually. Is it acrobatics?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's 22. It's in that ballpark. Sorry, my math is failing me right now, but that's
Okay. Yeah. You know what? That'll do it. So, Dob kind of gets out 50 foot of hempen rope and whips up a quick lasso. And it's weird. He sort of makes it to the edge of the circle, and then he starts running around the circle very quickly. He's kind of speeding through the snow. He's a snow speeder, you might call him. And as he throws his lasso at one of the walkers, the zombies, sorry, he starts to, just run around and try and tap all of their legs. At one point, you hear Icewind Dale be like, "Dude, no, stop, it's too dangerous." You hear Dob mutter to himself, "One more pass." And then, sure enough, you've made a bindle of Icewind Kobold zombies. 10 of
Zombie
them.
bindle.
Zombie bindle.
Zindle.
Yeah, so there are 10. There are 10 still on the loose,
Ah.
That's a good start.
but half of them are now just neatly tied up, and they're all trying to pull in different directions, and they're snarling, and it's a horrible comedy of errors.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to hold on to that. Pull that the Zindle, the zombie bindle. I'm just holding that in. Holding them squished together as much as I can.
Okay. Great. That'll do it. Let's see what the terrified kobolds. Oh no, they're coming in next time. All right. So now it's the very much on fire kobolds. Let's start with the normal ones. Wow. What's your armor class again, Corazon?
15. I am hidden.
Oh, you're hidden. Sorry, not Corazon then. Let's say
Where's
Merylwen.
Corazon?
Mine is also 15.
Yeah. Okay.
When we needed him most.
I shoot a look in the general direction where I think Corazon is.
Corazon's hat is poking up.
Merylwen, you get bitten by 2 zombie kobolds.
Ow.
You take
Ow.
a mighty 4 points of piercing damage.
That's not that bad.
And turn into a zombie kobold.
Really isn't, is it? It's kind of a strength in numbers deal. I'm now doing it for the ones that are very hurt. There's actually 2 more hits, so then that's 4. Ow! Damn. Okay, that's different. That's another 9.
How?
Yeah. The zombie kobolds are kind of like the first 2 sort of wrap their arms around your legs and just like, and then others sort of latch on until your legs are just like basically look down and it's like you're wearing trousers made of gnawing heads. They're just like,
Oh.
it's deeply unpleasant.
Look out for
Not
my
as good
hiding
as my
place and
trousers.
say, "Wow, glad that wasn't me."
You really dodged several bullets there, Corazon. It is now your go, Merylwen.
Okay.
Wreck 'em.
I would like. Well, And I need to. Where is everyone right now? So I've got a few of them on my legs.
Yep.
And then
So
there's
you're
a
on the
bindle.
outside of the circle.
I'm on the outside of the circle.
I'm the furthest
Okay.
away, I think, because I'm trying to pull the zombie bindle away, so like out into
Okay.
the blizzard.
Yeah, you're probably about 20 foot away from the Zindel.
Okay. I'm gonna try and aim at the Zindel because I'm right in the middle of the other group.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna aim a moonbeam at the Zindel, assuming that they're out underneath, out where the like on the edge of the bridge, so I can at least call from the sky and not destroy the bridge.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
very. That's
Thanks for
very
checking this time.
Moonbeam.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. La la la. Ghostly flames. Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Otherwise, they take half the damage, so they will take damage no matter what I do.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Okay. Constitution saving throw. What's your spell save DC?
My spell save DC is 15.
They actually pass the check, so they're going to take half damage.
Okay. Come on. Okay, that is a 7.
Okay. All right. So they're going to take that at the start of their next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll take 7, which is, to be fair, pretty good. 7 damage incoming. All right, Corazon, we're back to you. You are hidden.
I believe it's Egbert before me.
Oh, it's either or. Yeah,
Sure.
Egbert then.
So we've got some kobolds on fire.
Mhm.
We've got some kobolds on Merylwen's legs,
Yep.
and we've got the Zindel.
Yep.
Are there any other kobolds other than those 3 groups? Right? No.
Only the ones that you don't want to kill.
Okay, cool. I guess I'm going to go over to the Zindel and use my breath weapon to breathe some fiery stuff and make sure that they're on fire as well. I feel like I don't want them to miss out on the being on fire.
That's very nice. Yeah.
And then we can
What's the
identify
DC?
the good kobolds are the ones who aren't on fire, or Merylwen's legs.
Yeah.
It makes them a lot easier to spot.
I think so. What's the DC they have to beat with the saving throw?
It's a dex save 12.
Yeah, they're not going to pass this. They're already at -2, and they're effectively grappled.
Damn straight.
Yes. And I think
Yeah,
I think I rolled twice now. It was so it was 2d6 before. Do I roll? I think it's maybe 3d6 now for my breath weapon for damage on a failed
Sounds
save.
nice. Yeah.
Cool. Shall I roll those now? Have they?
Yes,
they're not-
please.
they're not gonna pass it. Okay. 3d6. That's a 3 and a 2 and a 1, so that is only 6 total.
Okay. Well, they are all on fire now.
Good.
It's like when people burn sage. It's like that, but zombies.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah. So
It smells
it's
great.
like- Meanwhile, they are also lit up in this ethereal moonbeam that has is about to, let's face it, pop them like grapes in a microwave.
Yep.
Ooh. Yes.
Corazon, it's your go now.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to get these ones off Merylwen's list, ideally. So how many are involved in that whole scenario?
How many? So it's 2 in the first instance, and then 4. 2 on each leg.
2 on each leg.
Half on fire, half not.
Damn. Okay. Well, I've only got.
Could have been you, Corazon.
I know it could have been. That's why I'm trying to help.
Aw.
I've got a hand crossbow I could probably pick them off from, but probably only one of them, right? I mean, how are they lined up? Are their heads
Roll
pressed
well.
against each other?
Roll well.
Yeah.
Heads are on my legs currently.
So they're
Yeah.
kind of, if you imagine Merylwen's sort of thigh there, it's kind of like one, like they're coming in from 2 different angles.
Right.
So they're actually looking at each other and being like, "Isn't this great?"
Well, I reckon I could get at least one of
They're
them
sharing a
off there.
moment. Okay.
Let me have a go.
Yep. Do roll well.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to be firing a hand crossbow at
At Merylwen's.
At
Merylwen's legs.
At my
Yeah,
leg.
Exactly.
In my very.
Don't worry, Merylwen. I'm basically sober again.
basically sober.
Actually,
Basically-
she's better when he's drunk. So
All right, so
Please don't let the shot be in vain. And when I say that, I mean literally in the vein in my neck.
main.
Oh no, if
femoral
it's your
artery.
thigh, it would be an artery. Don't worry. Yeah, colours
yeah,
on
yeah.
those.
All right, so that's plus my. Oh, that's you're fine, Merowyn. Don't even worry about it. So that's 21.
Hot dang! All right, yeah. Roll me your damage, please.
Oh, I had inspiration, but I did forgot to use it. That's fine. It worked out. Don't worry about it. Okay, so 1d6 piercing. Sure, whatever. it's only a 2, I'm afraid. That's seems rubbish.
You
Precision shot. It's just very slow.
You give a kobold zombie like a nose piercing.
Yeah.
It's just got
Well,
a bar
my work
through its
here is
nose.
done. I say. Get back into my hiding
You
place.
didn't do anything, Corin.
Didn't I, Prudence?
Meryl, when you look down, and in an image that is sure to haunt you for the rest of your extremely long life, you see this this kobold that's just taken a bolt in the nose, kind of go and sneeze while biting you. So it kind of goes like, and sort
Oh,
of
it would at
blood
least
and
fall
spit
off.
just go. Plah.
Oh, that's so infectious. Ugh.
Yeah, it just kind of, and it's disgusting. It actually like, despite the fact it is a zombie, it manages to look slightly embarrassed. That's how that goes. Okay, Prudence, what are we saying?
Okay, well, my first temptation is to, pick a couple of them off with Eldritch Blast, but seeing as we've got 4 kobolds still on Merylwyn's legs,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Right, okay. How close is the hot spring? And how hot is the hot spring?
The hot spring
runs
is kind
through?
of, it's warm enough that it doesn't freeze, but it's steaming gently. It's kind of just warmish.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, without full confidence, let's call it an experiment.
Okay.
I punt Merylwyn into the hot spring.
Single
With the
hobnail
kobolds.
boot to the
Okay.
area.
Yeah. This is Sparta. Merylwyn into spring. If it's
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I trust you, Prudence.
Yeah, I was going to
That's
say,
good,
like,
Merylwyn.
Meryl,
I
when
love
in
the,
the
way
moment,
you think, Prudence.
you're not resisting this, are you? You're selling the hit.
I'm like, okay, I'm prepping for it. I'm
Okay.
like embracing
Don't live-
myself.
All right. In that case, what is your armor class normally? It's 15, isn't it, Meryl?
15, yeah.
Then let's call it 7. Make me a strength athletics check, Prudence.
All right.
Which shouldn't be a hardship for you because your strength modifier changed recently, if you remember.
Indeed. Strength ticks, you said. Okay, fine. Good.
I'm mainly hoping that this will wash the zombie snot off my thigh.
If nothing else, we'll get you washed. That's a 14, Johnny.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
There is a whoosh. Not only as an elf druid and 4 zombie kobolds cut through the air, but also as all of the air is compressed out of Merylwyn's lungs, as Prudence just like throws her hips forward and just canes Merylwyn
Prudence
with-
with those hobnail boots.
with her hobnail boots.
And it's good.
It's like,
Good.
the crowd's already going wild, but you swear that it goes wild there in the midst of this attack. Yeah. Okay, there are now 4 kobolds in the stream. That's interesting. Yeah, I can work with that.
Good.
As the impact, let's see what happens. The impact whiffed it, definitely biffed it.
Yeah, in your face,
Back
kobold.
on, biffed it. Okay, 3 of the kobolds actually are detached. One of them is kind of still hanging on. Blessedly, it's not the one that sneezed. But you notice immediately the kobolds are struggling because the hot springs, the temperature is considerably higher than anything these zombies have been exposed to since their untimely demise, and it's not good. Them just starting to deteriorate quite
Oh
rapidly.
dear. Flesh
their
flying off
wounds
the bone.
exactly their wounds start to bleed again, and the kind of the like freezer burn.
Oh.
It is exactly like that. They're just kind of like you've just invented bath bombs, but they're horrible.
Oh no!
Patent pending.
Bath bombs.
I think of the
Bath
two business
bombs.
ideas, probably let's go with marshmallows.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I refuse.
That can be our
Bath bombs.
backup. Yeah, backup on Dragon's Den. They don't go for the first
So
one.
that happened.
Literal dragon.
Meanwhile, you remember the Zindel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's exploded.
Pop.
Sweet.
Because
Crikey.
in fact, you know what? I think we can drop out of combat initiative here.
Okay.
Because basically, like, there's a Merylwyn goes flying and lands in a hot spring, and immediately 4 kobold zombies start dissolving, and then just like a large firework, a bundle of another 10 just goes and as sort of just chunks start to rain down among the market. The blizzard kind of rages on, but you notice the zombies are starting to move away. They're sort of shambling off. Whatever sort of rudimentary intelligence they have left has told them that perhaps they should just chill out and try this again later.
Follow them. Let's follow
Yeah.
them.
Let's see where they're coming
Go
from.
after those zombies.
Yeah, let's-
Let's see what the
But like a
heck
safe
this
distance.
zombie is.
Throw them off their zombie programming or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. They start to disappear into the snow. If anyone cares to know, all of the regular kobolds, they are frantically tending to the wounds of those who have been hurt.
What? Who got
there's
hurt?
lots of-
That was flawless. Perfect encounter.
Zombies fell upon them. Remember?
Yeah,
Oh.
bit their shoulders.
They fell upon
Okay,
them
well-
and were biting them.
And
We had to
thighs.
execute the bitten ones, obviously.
They don't appear to be dying. The kobolds seem to be rushing to try and save their friends' lives rather than kill them,
Good.
because it's almost that's just what they're doing. You start to follow these zombie kobolds. They move slowly. It is not a hardship to follow them. What the hardship comes from Snicket following all of you and just giving you a right royal telling off. Like, what?
Snicket.
Snicket makes the finest trousers in Frostmaid. Snicket
You're still
not
alive, Snicket. Did you see those things?
Snicket not think that fine job.
Dobcast,
Come
sleep
on, man.
Snicket. Do something to Snicket. I've had enough of
Snicket
his
kind of
ways.
I throw
It stops.
some citrus fruits at him. Make him
No,
lemony
no, Merylwyn, no. Oh.
No, but where did you get the lemons from?
I always have them just in case.
Oh,
Always
good.
have
Okay,
this, you
fine.
lost
No,
someone
Scurvy,
called
presumably.
no further questions.
Right. Good.
Meryl, when you turn into a kobold, then you die, then you become a zombie kobold. That's what you are now. You're Merylwyn the zombie kobold. I'm joking. You can be
We'll walk her every day.
you can be a wood elf druid until the end of the session, and then we'll talk. So you round a corner, and you see that the zombies are kind of you round the corner. And you're like, whoa, where did most of the zombies go? Because there's only 2 that you can see, and then you kind of realize they shamble along, and then they stop, and very mechanically just sort of turn and look down, and they start to walk through kind of these trapdoors that are built into the ground, and there's a very steep sort of set of stairs leading into some form of cellar with there's all kinds of stuff in there. There's some crates, there's some supplies, there are barrels of ale, there are lots of bottles of wine, some spare stools.
Wine?
It's the tavern. It's the tavern. She's doing it. The tavern lady who doesn't like
Dana.
kobolds. She did
what?
it.
The kobold hater.
Yeah.
Oh.
As you go down, you see that the zombies, they kind of go down, and there are quite a lot more of them, just kind of placidly standing there, just like
My goodness.
Okay.
just on standby. It's on zombie kobold standby.
Okay.
Well, if they're just on standby, I think we should look around for proof of who, other than zombie kobolds, is responsible for this cellar.
Yeah. Let me investigate it.
Sure. You make an investigation, please. Intelligence investigation.
I'm gonna have a look around as well.
Okay, yeah. Intelligence investigation for anyone who wants
16.
to. Great. Marilyn, how did you do? 6.
6. How big is the area that they're in? Is it larger than 5 foot square?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're not in a box. They're in a pub cellar. Meryl,
I
when
used
you
detect magic on the cellar as well. Sorry, carry on, Johnny.
Okay, Meryl, when you are using, you use this time. You get a stick and you scratch the calculations in the snow. After you count all the zombie kobolds and then try and work out what the volume of a zombie kobold is, how many you think you can get in a 5 foot area, and then you realise they're probably not. They're not going to fit. Not all of them.
It's more that I need a 5 foot bit in a wall that I could maybe fill in and trap them.
Oh, I see. Right.
To make a door that they cannot open.
Aha, got it. Well, no. Prudence, you cast Detect Magic, and like an amorous vampire, there is a distinct aura of necromancy in this here cellar. They're all kind of purple. Yep. They're all kind of like they take on a weird purple aura, and the aura that you see there are wisps, almost like wisps of smoke, and they all seem to be pulling in the same direction, sort of diagonally up and away from you. Corazon, you notice that the trap door, the doors to the cellar rather, are attached to some sort of rope pulley system, and it seems that they can be opened automatically, perhaps from above.
Okay. Whatever's controlling this is up there, I think. Thoughts?
I concur. Yeah, no, I concur.
Cool.
I think
It's hella necromantic down here also. I clue everyone in on the necromantic trails. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
So-
But you knew that already.
Should we go upstairs and confront this person who we assume is Dana?
Yeah, if you're needing me to build a door, I think it's not quite got the room for it, I'm afraid.
That was going to be my next
time.
question.
Yeah.
About the stone shape.
the magic door you were
Yeah,
going
look, I mean,
okay.
sorry.
maybe
anyone
there's a
have
way
any
you can still
necromantic
salvage
wards?
this.
Or
Oh.
like
Yes, this young vampire that I've been educating.
Tell me more about the amorous young vampire.
yeah, old necro boy over here. He's
His name is Vlad, and he needs to work on his lines.
God, maybe
Why is that a mirror in your pocket? I can't see myself. I am a vampire.
that's good. It's
working on
This
you.
guy now.
You're coming
I'd be
along,
into it.
Brad.
I'm very glad to have met him.
Oh God.
Vlad turns into a bat, flies among the blizzard, goes above the clouds, gets caught in a blaze of sun and dies. He burns
See?
to death.
Circle of
See,
life.
Meryl, when you see what happens.
Seal
Alright, let's go
Gaiman
and stop this
eggs
necromancer.
mournfully.
Oh wait! Hang on.
What?
How about there's a pulley system, right, to get up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Put me pulley. I'll make myself invisible. Send me up. I'll get the proof we need.
Okay. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. I kind of feel like you're imagining one of those laundry lines with pulleys.
I'm imagining a dumbwaiter.
Oh no, it's a counterweight with ropes that pull the cellar doors open.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
so
an
we
opening
can't-
mechanism for the cellar doors.
Okay, so we can't open it from this. Or we can. Do we think
No.
we can open
Follow
it?
this though.
If you pull the ropes, all you'll be able to do is close the cellar doors behind you.
But could we climb the ropes and find out where the mechanism to open them is? Because whoever is doing this obviously has access to that room.
No.
How about this? How about this? You all hide behind something, and I use Thunderwave to excitingly smash the ceiling,
Love it.
and then we'll have access to above, or whatever it is.
Is there really no access other than
I
from
turn
outside?
into a cat and have a look to see if I can. Is there a door out?
Yeah, there's a door
Cat-
Other
from the
than
cellar
the cellar.
into what you do recognise is the tavern.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Let's just
Right.
go out into the tavern, right?
So,
Yeah.
yes, there are suffice it to points of rest
Hmm.
to the
Right.
room you want to get
Right.
into.
Nice. We should
Let's
we
go
should
have it and
breach
see what's what.
breach
I'm
and
gonna
clear
I'm
from
gonna stay as Merowyn.
let's breach and clear from like different entrances. It'll be exciting and cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
all right. Okay,
man.
so go then.
I'll go back out the way we came in and go front door of the tavern and
Okay.
make sure that's blocked.
Okay,
Oh,
so
good, yeah.
tavern points of ingress. Cross the cellar and just go up the stairs and use the door into the back of the tavern.
Yep.
Front door, excitingly swinging down from the ceiling on through a
Hell
window.
yeah. That's what I'm doing.
The chimney.
Chimney, please, shotgun. I'm up.
I mean, you do know full well there is a roaring fire,
Yes.
right? I suspected,
likes
but
it.
I just wanted to double check.
Just drop some snow down it first or something, Dob. It'll be
There's
fine.
no time.
Okay, right. Right, yeah, we're actually quite tight on time. So, Dob's going down the chimney. Egbert, you're stacked up on the door.
Yep. Ready to
Horizon, I
burst in.
assume you're going to smash through a window.
I'm going to smash through the window on a rope, and then maybe if there's a chandelier, swing on it. If not, I'll improvise.
I assume
Okay,
we've synchronized our wrist-mounted sundials.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the front door from Egbert. We're on either side
Okay,
to
stacked
breach and
up.
clear. Yeah,
Perfect.
stacked up on the door.
Merylwen.
I'm gonna come out from the room where the zombies are.
Okay, all right. So I would like you to just make me a stealth check, please.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
This should not be
Favourite
difficult,
kind.
in fairness.
Sorry, I don't suppose I ever would have dabbled in an experimental flashbang bomb with my time. I suppose
You're
that's what I might have
careless.
done.
Of course you
Yeah.
have.
All right.
You're not breaching and clearing without a flashbang.
Yeah.
A holy flashbang.
A little thing I've been working on, guys. Hope it goes
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
So is that just a stealth check or a stealth dex check? Just a
Dex stealth.
Dex stealth. Okay, then that's 18 then.
Yeah, that'll do it.
11.
7 was that prudent?
No, 11. 11.
Oh, 11.
For the love
You.
of God.
Oh, we all doing it.
Yeah, just to make sure that you get in position.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I only
but-
got a 10, so make of that
That's
what you
fine.
will.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
we
The
ready,
passive
everyone?
perception on the kobold zombies is only 8, so like Merylwen, you are past them. It is fine. Everyone is ready. You have synchronized your dials. So
Roger.
I'm gonna say, Corazon, you need to make me a Dex acrobatics check. Dob, you need to make me a Dex saving throw. Let's face facts. And then who's like hoofing open the front door?
Me, I'm in a
Hey.
kicking mood.
James,
Okay, strength-
James
I'll do the
James
kick,
gonna
you
kick
do
the door in,
flashbang.
and I'm gonna,
Yeah.
as it swings open,
Feeling
I'll have
kicky
the flashbang
today.
in.
Okay, strength athletics then from Prudence and
Nice.
Dex from you, Egbert.
Cool.
All right, here's my strength athletics.
Could use that
I got
crossbow
a-
of yours and gain proficiency bonus if you wanted. It would be
Me?
the first time you've used it properly. Yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I'll use my crossbow to fire the flashbang.
You've twisted my
Directly.
arm. After 3 years, I will
You have to
use that
talk Egbert
weapon you
into it.
created for me.
That's an
all right.
18 on the strength, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 15 on the Dex acrobatics.
And it's
Lovely.
23 on 9 quarter fire.
All right.
Nice.
I rolled a
Merylwen. Yep.
5 plus 2 is 7 plus 3 for the proficiency bonus is 10.
You are lucky to that crossbow.
Yeah, really am I.
Yeah, but
Merylwen, you know what? That door's not locked. You can just burst through it, I think. So it is every bit as cinematic as you hoped it might be.
yes.
Dob does like a sort of 3-point superhero landing in the fireplace. Lots of like embers fly up in a cool particle physics sort of way as he is lit beautiful object source lighting. Like the sound of him landing coincides with the crash of the door, which flies perfectly like upright across the entire room, splinters against the bar. It is followed by a flashbang that sails over the bar, and then in an incredible flash of light, it kind of
There better be
goes
someone
off.
in here.
This light.
There's a lot of patrons trying to have a quiet
Who
drink.
knows? This light sparkles majestically off the fragments of glass that have just been kicked into the room by Corazon, billowing behind him, holding onto a rope that's wrapped around a forearm. The other hand's just in slow motion, just sweeping through his hair. And Merylwen, just without looking at any of this, just kind of opens the door and throws it wide and just walks into the tavern. Kind of like bits of door, bits of glass, bits of like flaming ember just swirling around her. And Dana, who is standing at the bar cleaning a mug, looks up and goes, "What?"
Surprise, idiot! I shout, and I crash into Dana and tackle her to the ground.
Strength athletics check.
Well, Johnny, that is an 18 plus 1. That's a 19.
And then what?
You tackle an elderly lady to the ground.
Yeah. This is what you get for
Just
making
like-
zombies, I expect.
Does she
It's like-
survive?
Yeah, it's yes. She's winded, and she goes, she's just like, what are you doing?
Quick as a flash, I use my various nautical knots to tie her up.
Okay, you use exactly 50 foot of hempen rope.
Yay.
Wow.
That's a
You
lot.
like,
She's so tired.
Yeah.
just make me a dex sleight of hand check, please.
13, 20.
Okay, you are so thorough you tie Dana in a bowline hitch. Never mind the rope. So you now just have a knotted tavern owner there. She's on what remains of the bar. She's like, was there a problem with the service? I can
There's a
offer you
problem.
a round on the house.
Service was adequate, Dana.
I've invented a brand new drink.
Yeah, I bet you have.
It's called a Riaka Mellow.
Oh no! No, quick! She must be stopped.
That's
She's
it.
gonna steal our idea.
Mess with those kobolds, that's something, but mess with our intellectual property?
Oh, would you prefer a marsh chablis?
I prefer
No.
you stop making kobolds into zombies. That's
Yeah,
right.
the
we
jig
know
is
it
up,
all.
Dana.
The jig is,
Hi, Dana.
like Pruden said, it's up.
You can't
do you
prove
have to-
anything.
We don't have to.
They're all in your basement.
Yeah, they're all in the
God.
Tell
basement.
them in the cellar.
You're not supposed to. It's staff only.
Oh, she's got us there. All right, well, I leave.
Yeah, all right. We untie Dana.
Go.
Yeah, get out of my tavern.
We leave quietly.
Damn, we were so close.
We didn't get the warrant.
Wait.
What?
Wait, no, I spring back into action. Excited.
Dang it.
You're magically connected to these zombie kobolds that are
Yeah.
literally in your cellar, mere meters away.
You telling us you know
No
nothing
point
about the
trying to
zombie
deny it.
kobolds? Pull the other one.
I'm not.
It's got marshmallows.
I'm not.
Evidence, Dana. You're rumbled.
All right.
Fine.
Look, I want to leave you with Prudence. She gets pretty
Wait,
buck
wait,
wild
wait.
when she gets angry.
All right. Can I run quickly down to the cellar where the zombie
Yep.
kobolds are still sort of standing around? They're deactivated, right? They're just like...
Standby mode. Energy
Okay.
saving.
So it probably would be absolutely fine for me to just take my dagger and just in the head, kill one, bring it back up,
Sure.
and cast Speak with Dead and ask it, who is your master?
Phew.
Okay. I cast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Complex, but I like
Thinking
it.
this through. Yeah.
It is complex, but it is also comprehensive. Yes. In a lightning fast and a perfectly harrowing bit of ingenious decapitation, I guess. Dub reappears from the cellar with a severed head.
Oh, nice.
Guys, I think this could help.
That's intense. What's the plan?
Yeah.
Something
That's
with
what you're getting, Dana, if you don't speak. That's what I assume is doing.
All
Should we
right.
get someone from the law around here to witness the confession?
We are the law, Egbert. You know that by now.
Yeah, it's true.
The only law that matters. Oh, do the thing.
Vigilante
Do
law.
the
All right.
thing.
I hold the severed head, Yorick style, and I ask it, Who is your master? Tell me who your master is. Or I was going to say point at them, but maybe just like look at them now, I guess.
Point your tongue.
Roll your eyes.
With your tongue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wiggle
Point
your ears
tongue
in their
at
direction.
Your master.
Make me a dex saving throw, Dub. Okay. You, the kobold head, you're fairly certain, tries to nod in Dana's direction. The
Yes.
momentum tips it and it lands on the floor and bursts like an overripe melon.
Oh.
Well, Dana, all the proof we need.
You're wrecking my bar.
I rest my case.
Fine. Yes, it was me.
Knew it.
Well,
Why?
So,
Okay.
so stop it.
No kobolds. I hate them. They're-
You have so many of them in your basement then.
because I'm using them to drive the other ones out or kill them. I don't care. They
wow.
come to this. This was a nice place, and then they come and they're trying to take our jobs. They're setting up a tavern. I have this is my tavern. They can't come in, but they can't offer rival
Wow.
business. I won't have it.
You're a nasty piece of work, Dana, and I respect
Yeah.
that. But we're gonna have to crush you. I mean, literally.
No.
Let's turn her into a kobold. Probably one of you's got that spell, I imagine. All you magic
Look,
We can
widows.
hit her with the mace and see
Look.
what happens.
Oh yeah,
No,
let's get the
stop it.
polymorph
Stop
going.
it.
Let's turn her. Let's see if
Stop
we can
it.
get a kobold out of it.
What if she turns
Yeah,
into a
yeah,
dragon?
yeah.
Stop it. Just because I'm a morally reprehensible xenophobe
Yes.
doesn't mean that I don't
Go
have
on.
rights.
You have the right to be polished by my friend's magical mace of shapeshifting or whatever you're calling it, but
Yeah, that what you just.
We'll let the fates decide.
Yeah.
We'll let the fates decide. It's sort of like a fair trial.
I'll give you the recipe to my martial bleed.
We invented it.
Recipe.
get him.
We've got the
Get
best
her.
name.
Okay, I'm gonna ponk her very gently on the shoulder with my mace of transmogrification.
That's the one.
Okay. Are we doing this the same protocol we did last time? Are you just going to stand there tapping her until you roll a 6?
Yes.
Okie dokie then. Please
Okay.
start
Rolling.
doing that.
Freeze. 6. There you go. Oh, quicker than
Okay.
last time.
That is a lot quicker than that.
Yeah, that was.
I'm hoping that
Okay.
my mace has a sense of irony.
What was the 3?
Hang on. No. Let me just pull up the old monster manual here.
All right, fingers crossed, not dragon.
Kobold.
Come on, Fluffy
Mike.
Bunny.
Mike, pick a letter.
Not D. K.
Okay, and give me a number between 1 and 10.
6.
He's trying to play the alphabet.
Huh. Well, that's appropriate enough. She's into a lizard folk.
Okay.
She's a as the game itself describes it, primitive reptilian humanoids that lurk in the swamps and jungles of the world.
Okay.
Oh,
She-
not going to deal well in the blizzard then, I guess.
No. Oh, this is wow. How fortuitous. They have the trait territorial xenophobes. I'm not lying.
Wow.
Wow.
Let
Ryan.
fate decide, and fate
She
played a
she
blinder.
can no longer speak common, but she looks you dead in the eyes, Egbert, and says in Draconic,
What's happening? I feel different.
Yeah, you're a lizard folk now.
No.
To learn what it's like to live as a different species with all the potential prejudice against that you might experience. Now you'll understand what the kobolds were suffering.
Can we not go back to the killing bit?
No,
No.
you must live like this to understand.
We could
that all
banish you.
species have worth.
Maybe we should
No,
banish her. Can we
No,
banish?
no. Don't.
I
Okay.
play itself out.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I-
just think on it. Think on the lessons.
I think I will.
Hang on. I've got a plan. How about we put her in the cellar, and I just, seal it up.
You
Whoa,
really want to
hey,
build
whoa,
a door,
whoa,
don't you?
whoa.
Desperate to build a door.
Dang, Merylwen. Wow. I love
think
it.
this-
That's brutal.
I don't think
She's
we need
looking
to-
around.
She created.
She's looking
We're in
around
the zombie
confused.
cellar.
She
One of
She
the
doesn't know what you're all
villagers come
saying,
by and be like, "Oh, what happened to Dana?" And then open the cellar, and then they'll be killed by a lizard folk.
She'll be
Why
walled
don't we
up
just
though.
say don't open it? We'll put up like will share the story far and wide.
Isn't the point that
Make
she
it a
will
legend,
she lives
so that-
on and like learns her lesson and like learns not to be.
I feel like killing her by sealing her into a wall undercuts the moral
yeah.
tone.
Makes us
think so
also
too.
the bad
Just-
guys here.
Fine.
Except
It's a
she
moral parable.
Yeah,
I
but
liked
she's-
your plan,
You
Marilyn.
must walk
Thanks.
a
Chris.
mile in the kobold's shoes and also be sealed into a wall until dead.
And also, I'll stab you a bunch.
Molten
Yeah.
racism.
She turns to you, Egbert, and says,
They're talking a lot, and I can't understand them, and it's rude.
it's rude. You're rude. Kobolds. Now go. Be on your way.
Ugh, I can't believe this.
she.
You've got a pair of trousers you can have. I give it the trousers.
All right, well, put the trousers on me, but can you also untie me?
No.
Yeah, all right.
She could wriggle along.
I'd like to destroy all
Okay.
Hawaiian marshmallows because that is patent pending.
You do so.
Destroy. Do you mean destroy?
Consumed.
My,
Yeah.
my face,
My mouth.
face and
So-
mouth. Yeah.
Okay, so deciding that immurement is probably not the best way to punish this this lady. You leave her to wriggle worm-like, still trussed up in 50 foot of hempen rope, out of the
Yeah.
tavern she once
Yeah.
called hers.
Does she still have the eye patch?
Yeah,
Good.
it's
Just
still
wanted to know. Just wanted to know.
come on.
And let's give the tavern to up and coming entrepreneurial businessman Snicket, who I think would do a fine job of running a tavern.
Yes,
wish.
that.
Sure. All right. Well, we speed montage that bit. You find the deeds to the place. You start to nick it. It is now a pub open to all.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the condition though. No retribution from Snicket. It'd be open to all, and then they can all be friends. And I feel
Yeah.
like we solved the problem.
Marshmallows all round.
Icewind Ale eats wine mallows until he's sick. And,
Hooray!
Not
and
just
that
him.
is the story of how you saved the kobolds of Frostmaid.
Hooray! We're heroes yet again. Thank you, Johnny,
Well
for
done,
such
everyone.
a lovely Oxventure. That was great. Thank you everyone
My
for
pleasure.
watching. Yeah, do check out Johnny on dicebreaker.com/dicebreaker. Check us out at youtube.com/outsidebox and outside extra. We're over there doing video game stuff if you want to check that out.
And more D&D stuff as well, obviously.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
adventures. Come and check us out.
I mean, it sounds awfully like we're prepping to say goodbye, but we've got approximately 8.5 minutes to chat if we want
Johnny,
it.
how
Such luxury.
far did that stray from your narrative, the plan that you
It's always a question, isn't it, with us, basically.
Yes.
Yep. No, it's that was pretty straight down the line. I think. So I'll peel back the curtain. All I wrote was like the end. Basically, it's a hateful necromancer. Here's her motivation. They're in the basement. They come out of the cellar during blizzards, and that's all I planned. So,
Nice.
so I didn't know the market was going to happen, but it was fun.
Awesome.
I really love kobolds. I think they're really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was yeah. It was
Not the
fun, and
zombie ones,
hopefully
though. That was pretty disgusting. That
Yeah.
was horrendous, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am sorry about that. In fairness,
Mike, do you not have like turn undead or anything like that?
No,
No.
don't have that.
are you
Nothing to dead, unfortunately.
Man, I miss
are you
Angus.
sure you don't have turn undead?
Nope.
Oh,
It's on
right.
the Faithless, which is why I was
That's
asking
the one.
whether it was Fiends and Fae,
There we go.
but
Ah.
not Turn
Yeah.
Undead, unfortunately.
Not that kind
anyone-
of paladin Corazon.
Is anyone else
Sorry.
planning on for real trying to make marshmallow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta know now. Gotta know.
I think it's
Pending. Patent
I mean,
pending.
That's
I'm
my
so-
Friday night sorted. I don't know about the rest of you.
yeah. I would
Celebration
absolutely
marshmallows.
Friday
I'd
night.
Makes
absolutely buy a
with
t-shirt.
wine-infused marshmallows.
Yeah.
Be
I
very
bet it's
messy.
horrible. I bet it's absolutely horrible.
Just put one in a wine bottle and it soaks up until it's inside it, and then you just smack it.
Then you smash the bottle, yeah.
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 Or you
What was
just
the other-
put
Slide
stick
that
in
down the
first.
gullet.
What was the other product that came up in that?
Oh,
Bath bombs.
bath
Then-
salts.
Then you put them in warm water. And then your bath's all disgusting.
Yeah.
And
It's
then you're a zombie if you go in the bath.
Yeah, that's less good,
Yeah.
I think. That
Well,
one.
Using the water supply, the village wasn't downstream.
no, I think you're all right.
Okay,
so the good news is that these the Icewind kobold zombies are it's just it's anime dead. It's not viral like you would expect from like a something. So Merylwen is not going to turn into a kobold and then a zombie.
Right. Yeah, I was very concerned
Unless she does any more punning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If the puns don't abate, then we may revisit that. But no,
I have a curse where I have to make puns or I die.
Sure,
I would
it's
agree with
IRL.
that.
Sure.
I would agree with that.
I very enjoyed our breach and clear. That was very exciting.
That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Wouldn't it have been-
absolutely tell that every single person on this team has come from a video games journalism background.
Yes, it is rather obvious, isn't it?
Wouldn't it be amazing though if there was no one in there?
That would have been great. I was kind of like trying to go through my inventory, seeing if there's anything I could use to make like a breaching charge around the door and door up. But I don't have anything like
Semtex.
that.
No Semtex?
Unfortunately. No
It's a
Semtex.
real shame that it would be a spoiler, because otherwise we could call this episode Splinter Cellar.
Oh, Johnny.
That'd be great.
Let's do it anyway. It'll be worth it.
What would we
Yes.
call this episode? Because we can't get zombies.
If I
We
may-
can't have zombies in it. Spoilers.
No,
If I may be kobold.
If I may be kobold,
It's good. Kobold.
That's
Quite
pretty great.
Quite a few words.
Yeah.
Kobold. 5.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Kobold.
Two koboldly go.
yeah.
Boldy.
That's a bit more
Infinitive,
spacey.
though.
though.
I loved Dale, by the way, Johnny. He was great.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
he
was great.
good. We've done kind of like Surfer Bro voices before, but never that long.
It was relatively consistent to my ear, but I'm not a Californian person, so probably to
Yeah.
California it sounded awful. But
Oh, I'm sure I was torturing a lot of people whenever I spoke as Icewind Dale, but I just thought it was too. I just couldn't resist. So, apologies to Wizards of the Coast for taking a lot of work and then doing that to it.
But please have a space year.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some lovely.
Wizards of the Coast. I do think of like surfing wizards because they,
yeah,
they hang out on
Yeah.
the coast.
Oh, great!
It's always
oh,
island
it's
time.
canon then.
Yeah.
Hit me up if you want me to write a source book about the surfing wizards of. Yeah.
Their staff isn't the only thing that's gnarly.
Wow.
Okay, that was very, very good. There are some great.
So Luke gets praise.
Yeah, you get life inspiration. You get one do over in real life. That was so good.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Nice. I'm going to use it on Evil Life Marshmallow.
Please share pictures. Yeah,
Ew.
there are some really great characters, creatures in this book as well. Like there was a lot that got my imagination firing, but I just thought romancing kobolds was too much fun.
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah, thank you so much for the story.
I'm glad.
That combat encounter was really interesting as well. It was one of those ones where I was like frantically Rolodexing through my spells and weapons, thinking that, like,
That was
I don't want
great.
anything that's just going to kill one kobold. It's
Yeah.
got to be AoE.
Yeah.
But the
There's
fact
nothing that
they
makes
were-
us panic more than like
A ton.
Yeah.
Of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
and because so close to the ones that we didn't want to, like that. Because at first, when you described it, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to knee slide in and thunderwave hard, and they'll all explode excitingly. But then I thought I would
let
explode.
Cthulhu
all-
sort out the rest.
Yeah, I thought I would popcorn all of the good ones as well, and
Yeah,
it was it. I think just to think we
Yeah.
did, like, icicles and kicking into prudence
Yeah.
all over the environmental combat.
It forced me to think I'm never using my blooming crossbow again. That thing sucks.
Yeah. Well,
You nailed that shot though.
I need an
yeah. In
AoE.
fairness,
I need some kind of AoE.
Archery.
I think we all learned a valuable lesson today, and it's that Corazon shouldn't bother with the hand crossbow. But
Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it.
And throw
But
it.
needs to use more crossbows.
Use more crossbow.
yeah, I think Unfortunately, though, that's all we have time for, so we should start wrapping it up.
Yeah, well, coming up now, there's Dungeons and Designers, which is a panel. Osely Wood, who was on earlier, she's going to be talking to Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins. Talking about Dungeons and Dragons for new DMs, talking about Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, loads of other stuff. So it should be really interesting. So stick around for that.
Thank you so much, Wizards of the Coast, for having us. It's been our pleasure to open D&D Celebration. Have a wonderful celebration for the rest of the weekend. Loads of
Thank you to Johnny for a cool adventure. And thank you to Luke for joining us on his birthday. Happy birthday, Luke.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of D&D Celebration.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back. Did I not tell you that Oxventure are absolutely amazing? I love those folks. I'm so glad you got to witness just how brilliant they are. But I do feel like we're going to be following it up with a panel that is equally as fantastic, because we are talking Dungeons and Designers with Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford. I couldn't ask for better guests. Thank you so much for joining me.
Marvelous to be here.
Absolutely.
Now, like I said, I am personally very excited about this panel. I had my personal list of questions that D&D made me cut down to an hour, because yes, fine, it was maybe 4 or 5 hours, but whatever. So we're going to be delving into the 2 books that we've had recently. So obviously we've had Icewind Dale just come out. We've got Tasha's Cauldron on the way. So I'm going to leave Tasha's Cauldron until the end, and I'm going to start off with Icewind Dale. So first of all, just in case anybody, and I'm sorry to even suggest this, but just in case anybody isn't familiar with the adventure, give me a little intro to, what they can expect.
Icewind Dale is kind of a sandbox adventure with a narrative through line running through it, but it's set in this region of the Forgotten Realms that is isolated from the rest of the world by towering mountains, glaciers, and stormy seas. And it is cold and desolate, and the people who live there are hardy, tough folk. And the adventurers find themselves in this domain wrestling with a whole bunch of problems, and also dealing with things that you often find in horror stories, monsters that will creep you out, terrors that hide in the dark, cold night, and things that have many, many secrets that lie buried and waiting under the ice.
Yeah, we're going to have to be very, very careful. We're going to tiptoe around lots of this because obviously, it's an incredible adventure. We do not want to spoil anything. So first of all, let's talk about some of the inspirations, because you described this as kind of contemporary horror, a little bit more of a modern take on that. And I'm really interested as to, kind of what that means and where you pulled your ideas from for it.
Well, when we first decided that we were going to go back to Icewind Dale, one of the key things for me was to make it feel very different from any Icewind Dale adventure or story we had done before. And so the as we were brainstorming ideas and just thinking about the environment and what it's like to actually live there, it seemed like a pretty horrific place on its own. And then we hit upon this idea of delving into contemporary horror partly because people seem to really like the Gothic horror that we explored in Curse of Strahd. And here was a way to tell a story that went back to the horror well, but felt very, very different from that. And contemporary horror touches on themes that are important and sort of get at the soul of the human character when put under duress or when tested. And so we looked at things like, or I looked at things like John Carpenter's The Thing, which is a movie an ancient movie that released in 1982, that is a very simple story about a bunch of people trapped together in Antarctica, wrestling with a monster who can look like anything. And the paranoia that engenders, and of course, the way the story unfolds, the pacing of it, the dread, the inevitable confrontation, it felt like a very D&D adventure to me. And so that was certainly one of the big inspirations. But then as we were looking at the story more broadly, we thought, well, maybe there's other contemporary horror tropes or experiences or imagery that we can drop into this product as Easter eggs, and also to help just sort of push the story forward. And so we started to look at, Stanley Kubrick's film The Shining as an inspiration, and H.P. Lovecraft's short novella At the Mountains of Madness, which is about an expedition to Antarctica that discovers something horrific beyond the mountains in the ice. And so all of these things started to weave together into this tapestry or experience that became the adventure.
And Chris, I like that another piece of modern horror that is evident in the adventure is also survival horror, because
yes,
one of the main foes in this adventure is the environment itself. This adventure, particularly the further you get into it, it starts posing the question, can you survive the weather? Can you survive this avalanche that is tumbling toward you?
Exactly.
This is often the biggest monster you're up against in Rime of the Frost Maiden, the environment.
Yes, like take a story like Ridley Scott's movie Alien, for instance. There is, of course, the threat of the alien itself, but the fact that you're trapped in the cold vacuum of space is an environment that is constantly sort of pressing down on you, and you can't deal with it in the traditional way. You have to, there's nowhere to go. And so all of this survival stuff is key, I think, to the adventure. And what we tried to do was make it as easy as possible for the dungeon master to bring that to the fore and make that a central part of the experience.
I mean, you mentioned Dungeon Masters there, and I think one of the things that I found really interesting when I kind of read through this for the first time was it's definitely going to be a way for you to kind of scale up your DM skills, a way for you to show off your DM skills. Was that deliberate, or, was that more once you put the elements you wanted to in, that's just how it ended up?
A little of both. I mean, some things happen accidentally, but every adventure that we do is an opportunity to learn from previous experiences, of course. And one of the goals of an adventure is to make it as easy as possible. First of all, to make it as seductive as possible so the DM wants to run it, but then make it as easy as possible for them to actually deploy all of its components at the table. And I think a lot of our effort was really directed at the latter, in sort of showing the DM how things are meant to unfold, give them some behind the scenes guidance, but not make it so overwhelming or lengthy that they feel like that becomes a barrier to actually running the adventure. There's always a fine line to walk with adventures about giving the DM too little information versus too much information. And so we tried to walk that line here and make it sorry, Jeremy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the thing I love about this book is that even though it's a big one, when you get it into your hands, it's like this is a hefty volume. As you start going through it, you'll see that the adventure has been segmented into bite-sized chunks, making a DM's preparation far easier than, say, needing to ingest, 100+ page story before you feel like you can even run a session. Here, you can actually pace your prep out to zero in on the segment of the sandbox that your group is going to deal with in the upcoming session. And that's something that we discovered, going back to what you said earlier, Chris, about we're constantly taking lessons from previous adventures and applying them to our new ones. It's something we discovered was very effective in the Essentials Kit, where the adventures there are actually a series of little mini quests that you can really run as standalone adventures, but then weave them together into a broader campaign. That same principle is at play in Rime of the Frost Maiden, where if you want, you could just zero in on one of the 10 towns, you could latch on to a particular quest, and that could end up being your Rime of the Frost Maiden experience. Or you could decide to take a bunch of these quests and start stacking them together and see this larger plot unfold. And in the process, see also the horror deepen.
You touched on paranoia earlier, and this is something I really want to talk about, because something I loved is that this adventure really plays with the idea of trust and teamwork and what it means to be a party. So how do you do that, within a game that is fundamentally designed to be cooperative storytelling?
You give all the characters secrets, of course. This adventure uses something that we've never used in a 5th edition adventure before, which is during the character creation process, there are a number of secrets that can be doled out randomly or deliberately to the characters. So every character starts the game with a secret that they haven't shared with the rest of the group. Now, whether the player chooses to expose that secret or not is entirely up to them. But what we've found in playtesting is that a lot of players don't want to share their secrets. And what this engenders, of course, is paranoia among the other players. And the delight in revelation when the secret finally comes out. And so we give each character these secrets. They decide whether or not to reveal them. Sometimes the adventure will force a character's hand and sort of force a secret out into the open, and then the whole party becomes aware of it. And how does that affect them? How does that affect their trust going forward? Not just the characters' trust of each other, but the players' trust of each other. So I think this fun mechanic, the secrets mechanic, is going to really get at this idea of secrets breeding paranoia within the party. Now, the party is still coherent. They've still got goals that they share, but this kind of puts a little needle up against the balloon. And if one player has a very dark secret, it could change the way that the adventure flows, and that could be a very fun thing to experience. Now, not all the secrets are game changers. Some of them are purely innocent or just kind of interesting, but they aren't going to affect play. But you don't know, which characters have what secrets. If they're all benign, you're very lucky. If, one of you turns out to be a cannibal, that could change things a little bit.
But again, even with the secrets, the thing I love, going back to the toolkit nature of this adventure, is not only can the DM decide which quests to run in which order, each group gets to decide how to engage with these secrets. Because, Chris, as you mentioned, a group could embrace it, really revel in the storytelling opportunities of the paranoia. Or if that's not a particular group's jam, you could just tell each other your secrets right at the beginning, and then instead you're experiencing the kind of almost more of a monster hunting style story, which is sort of a genre adjacent to horror, where actually all the cards are laid out on the table at the beginning, and then you would just together decide, how are we going to deal with this? And that could that could include the Hannibal-esque member of your party just informing you all at the beginning that they're a cannibal.
Just want to put that out there. Hope you're all cool with it. Yeah. I mean, as a player myself, inclusion. As a player myself, if I got something that I knew was going to be detrimental to the party, I'd probably spill the beans. But sometimes some players aren't like that, and everybody's got different play styles.
I mean, I know I'm a secretive player. I know it. If I'm a cannibal, that's getting hidden the whole game. Surprise. So, I guess speaking of cannibals, creatures, because this is, as you mentioned, this is a kind of familiar location for us, but with fresh take on it. So, what new creatures can we expect? Because obviously, it's the perfect setting for it. Indeed,
and since our adventures assume that DMs only have the 3 core rulebooks, as we were looking at this story and fleshing out encounters, we found that the selection of cold-dwelling monsters in the monster manual was relatively small, and so we wanted to expand upon that and give the DM what is basically a mini monster manual tucked away in this book. Over 50 pages of monsters. Now, not all of them are cold themed. Some of them are themed to other parts of the adventure. But there are a lot more cold monsters in there now that you can play with and add to the campaign. And we hope that DMs, upon seeing this big bestiary tucked in the back of the book, will be inspired then to create their own encounters in Icewind Dale, following the models basically laid out in the book.
And one thing too, I think it's worth pausing on, Chris, is that Icewind Dale, despite being this perilous place, draws people from all over the Forgotten Realms, and not just people, but also monsters of various sorts. So as people go through this bestiary, they will find things where they'll pause and think, what is this doing in this Arctic wasteland? Well, there's a reason in the story for it. And people find their way to Icewind Dale for a variety of reasons. Some of them went there seeking adventure. Something people will discover in Rime of the Frost Maiden is Icewind Dale is home to a prison, a high security prison. So there are also people who've been sent to Icewind Dale to serve out usually a lifelong sentence, and perhaps someone you meet has escaped from that prison. So there are all sorts of reasons for why you might find something you would never expect to find, as snow is falling heavily in this wintry wasteland.
I have to say, this sounds like a really fun adventure. I'm assuming they're all fun to write, dream job. But I do think that this in particular seems like it's been a real melting pot of pulling together lots of the best bits of what makes D&D so great. So what is the process when okay, we need a new adventure? Do you have specific aims for it? Or is it more about, you saw a great monster and you're like, okay, this is where I'm starting?
Usually I'm given a sense of where the adventure has to be set or placed. And then the challenge becomes, how do we make that interesting? And there's usually a series of brainstorming meetings that occur where we just throw out all kinds of crazy ideas and then try to untangle them later. And not every idea that we come up with will land or ultimately make it in the book, but there's never any shortage of ideas, particularly once you bring the writers in and they bring their own ideas to the mix. But what's important to me is that whatever ends up in the book has to say something, either about the world or about the nature of something, or about the nature of just humanity, getting at some of the foibles or issues that we as humans have to wrestle with because I find that when players and their characters go on these adventures, if the adventure has a layer of truth to it, based on something that we can experience in the real world, it's going to resonate on a level far greater than it would have absent that material. And so I'm always looking for that thing. And sometimes, like in the case of Curse of Strahd, which is a Gothic tale about the fall of a man into darkness and how he poisons everything around him, Icewind Dale has got its own core. And around that core, all these other events spiral outward. And that core, of course, is the Frost Maiden herself. She's a very complicated figure.
And we
That's one way to describe her.
and we purposefully say little about her publicly, partly because we want people who play the adventure to experience her, right there at the game table, and not have their experience of the Frost Maiden mediated through something we said in an interview like this.
Yeah. What's interesting about her in particular is, like Strahd, she engenders some sympathy. She, of course, is doing bad things, as all evil figures in D&D do, but I like her for that, and it gave us a lot to play with and gave the story some more dimension.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives the story a mythological heft that if as you're going through the various quests and facing the perils of Icewind Dale and wintry monsters, cannibals, but as you start digging into the Frost Maiden's story, you start tapping into this more mythic strain, and you see that there is far more going on here than a group of people and monsters simply trying to survive in the wilderness. Exactly.
But it deals with questions like how do people react to a hostile environment when they're deprived of food, or when they're cornered, or they're suspicious that there might be a monster hiding in their midst. People start to behave differently. They start to act differently. They start to do irrational things. This is a great opportunity to really kind of get at some psychological ideas.
So before we move on to Tasha's Cauldron, if you had one tip, whether for adventurers or DMs as they kind of venture into Icewind Dale, what would you say to them before they set off?
For DMs, I'd say, you don't have, because as Jeremy had pointed out earlier, it's a hefty book. There's a lot in there. Focus on what you like. Take it apart. Make it your own. The canon of your world can be whatever you want it to be. Add your own stuff. Mix things around. If you just like a map, take the map. Do something fun with it. If you like an idea, but it's not explored in detail as much as you'd like, you can expand upon it. It's your adventure now. For the players, I'd say, despite the adventurer's attempts to drive a wedge between you, stick together, shared bodily warmth, don't split the party. Icewind Dale is very unforgiving, especially if you get caught in a blizzard.
And on that note, the other important tip is bring a coat.
I like it. Yeah, basic life tip. I feel like you could use that one inside and outside of D&D, so that's great. All right, we're doing it. We're moving on to Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So first of all, how does it feel to just have at least the reveal of it out in the world?
It's a wonderful feeling because the team and I have been working on Tasha's Cauldron since early 2019. So this has been a labor of love for us for well over a year. Many of the pieces of this book have been out in public because of our Unearthed Arcana series. So, people have actually been getting a taste of what's bubbling in this cauldron for many, many months now. And finally, when the book comes out on November 17th, they'll get to see how all of that material came together to make this, wondrous witch's brew. which not only includes the pieces that they saw in Unearthed Arcana, but also other content that will be wholly new to them. The key, though, is that all of the major player character content, especially the many new subclasses in the book, everyone has actually already seen all of them, because of course, a big part of how we work on 5th edition is engage in this ongoing conversation with the community about what they want to see in their player character options. And so when they open up chapter 1 of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything to look at all of the new player character options, they're going to see essentially a group of friends they met over the course of the last year and a half, and see, oh, a few things have changed. You know, maybe the genie patron got a new haircut, or you know, this other subclass has a new coat. But the core of those elements are really going to feel familiar for people. And I think they're going to also be really excited, because we know, based on the playtest feedback that we got, people love this content. One of the things that struck us over the past year is that most of the content that we were designing for this book just got high satisfaction score after high satisfaction score after high satisfaction score. There were a few things that didn't score high. Those got heavier revisions, or in a few cases, we bid them a fond farewell, and perhaps we will see those elements in a future book.
Fantastic. I mean, that's what I wanted to hear. I'm very happy. Like, high satisfaction. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear. So how do you decide at kind of D&D when you're ready for something like this? Because obviously this is, you know, a huge rules expansion. It will really transform the way a lot of people play. So how do you know, okay, it's time?
So we began working on this, you know, about when we felt sort of close to 2 years out from when we expected the game is going to be ready for another dose of expansion options. And this book, and we've signaled this to you in the title, is very much a follow-up to Xanathar's Guide to Everything. I mean, that's why we made sure everything is in the title, because we want it to be very clear from the get-go. This is another book in that line, and that is a line of expansions to the whole game, because this book not only has new material for players, but also new options for dungeon masters. And we felt that, you know, 3 years out from Xanathar's Guide, it was time to introduce a new set of options to give people fresh takes on things that we knew they love. I mean, because we know so many of us who play D&D, we return to